Going on obviously from the training from last week, so it's going to go a lot more in detail now to obviously what we're offering and to get you that sort of background of our customers and our competitors. So I think that's quite key. And I'm going to go through and show you what our competitors are doing, because I think that will help you kind of understand how we fall into that sort of game.
Yeah.
So this afternoon, obviously, we're going to go through the customer. So we're going to understand the business through our competition. So looking at the Just Eat, Uber Eats, Deliveroo, what are they doing? And how do what they do fall into what we do? Sponsored listings, which I got questioned about last week as well. So we're just going to go through what they are and how they benefit the customer. The marketing strategy. So we're going to talk about how we're going to market it and how, from a customer element, from a restaurant, how they're going to benefit from being on our platform. So how we're going to drive those customers to the platform, and again, how it all falls together so that when they become a sponsored listing, how they're going to get even more custom from us. So we're going to go through the demo. We've got a demo of the customers live, so we're just going to go through those competitor websites and just show you how their order system works. And again, we can then later on go through how our order system works. So we can just play around with that and get that understanding on there. Customer plans. So we're going to have a look at what the plans are. So you've heard of standard and you've heard of advanced plan. But what are they? What do they entail? What do they give to the customer? So again, just to give you that sort of breakdown. And then individually, we're just going to go through the apps. So the customer app and the customer website. And hopefully at that stage, you'll see that our customer app and our website is very much similar to Just Eat, but without the cost. You'll just start seeing things come into play. The merchant app, so we'll just go through that again. The driver app, and then the order process. So just going to go through general all the apps as well. So it'll be a more detailed sort of look. Again, like I said, this is recorded, so if there's anything that you want to go back to, it's going to be uploaded later on today, so you can go through that. Okay, is there any questions, or is there anything that you feel that needs to be added to that list? No? Okay. Okay. So obviously, first of all, we're going to go through the customer. So obviously, we got customer sort of interfaces. So we've got the Just Eat, we've got Deliveroo, and we've got Uber Eats, which is our main competitors. They're the three biggest competitors that we're going to deal against, and the three largest cost to any restaurant. So I'm just going to go through those. So again, reiterating, Just Eat, it's 14% plus 50p. So that's what a customer gets charged, a restaurant gets charged per transaction. Now, I did a run last night on Just Eat to see how many outlets are in my area. So we looked at 008, which with a 5-mile radius, okay? And on Just Eat, there's 187 outlets on there. So there's 187 companies paying that 14% plus 50p. So, and that's just in Oldham. So you can imagine straight away when you're looking at a larger area, it's absolutely, it gets scary, especially when you're looking in Blackpool or other key areas, Liverpool being another one. So basically 187 outlets. They're standard sort of local businesses, ones that, that they're not big chains. So they're all the local sort of businesses on there. Uber Eats, obviously they're 30%, and again, searching in the 008, we've got 158 outlets paying 30%. Now, obviously, Uber Eats offer the delivery service, so they've got slightly different clientele. So they've got the KFCs, the McDonald's, the Londis, and so they roaming into slightly different territory, but same again. They've got what Just Eat do as well. So some of the customers from Just Eat, Charcoal Shawarma and Georgia Fried Chicken are also on Uber Eats. But obviously, it's mainly Uber Eats of customers that don't have a delivery driver, and they use the Uber Eats platform to provide that. And then going down to Deliveroo, they've got a lot more in the area, so there's 193 outlets, again paying 30%. But then you start going into the Aldi realms and the One Stop, which use the delivery service. Now, our platform does all three. So we've got, like I said initially, the restaurant sort of side, but our platform can handle the Aldis, the One Stop, the KFC, the McDonald's. However, that's more stage two, when we start getting the delivery app out there, and we start recruiting our own delivery team. So that's further down the line. At the moment, as I mentioned to you last week, our drivers are going to be mainly what are linked to the restaurants, individual restaurants. So we're looking at, in the Oldham area, we'll be looking at 187 outlets which are using that platform. But again, you're only looking at 20%. There's just over 300 restaurants in Oldham in this area. So, Just Eat haven't got the main majority. There's still a lot more to gain on there. And again, a lot of platforms don't use Just Eat or any other platform because of the commission that's being charged on there. So there's a lot more in our realm that we can hatch onto and grab business from. So there's a lot of Chinese around here that I know that don't use any of these platforms and they rely on footfall. But again, when I've spoken to them, it's all down to, well, these platforms charge quite a considerable amount of money and we're not interested in that. So, you're looking at a larger market than what all of these three are offering at the moment. So then we looked at Local Eats. Local Eats obviously was our next competitor. They obviously charge 7.5%. Local Eats are brand new, as I mentioned to you before. And I've just compared three of them. We've got Leyland Eats, which has got 30 restaurants. They were set up about 2 months ago, so they've already got 30 restaurants, so you can see that they're already hammering away. Barrow Eats is one of their original ones. There's 87 restaurants on there. And then you got Blackpool Eats, so 69 restaurants on there. And again, they keep growing. And on average, using the same marketing techniques that we do, they bring in to the restaurants about 1,000 orders a day, which then split out between all the individual restaurants. So we're just going to go through, like I said, the demo of these platforms. So we've got the Just Eat, we've got Deliveroo, Uber Eats and Local Eats. Okay, so obviously I've just done a search for that. So this is pretty much the Just Eat sort of interface. You put your postcode in on the first screen. 008 4RD. When it wants to catch up. Because I'm presenting at the moment, it's decided it's going to run slow. So straight away, at the moment, there's 56 restaurants open in the area. So again, it's a very straight sort of interface. There's 56 restaurants there. Obviously, everybody wants to push to the top, so there's a lot to go through. And if I search for a certain thing, if I want to go for a pizza, there's 14 restaurants that I can order a pizza from at the moment. So again, I can go through that. Again, looking at the Uber Eats, pretty much the same sort of interface. They can go down by a particular dish, or they can go for offers. But you can see here you've got the McDonald's, the Subways and the KFCs. So the order process straightforward. If I go into McDonald's, you can see the menus down on there. So again, I can order straight from this platform, and the same from here, from Just Eat. The order platform is exactly the same sort of setup with all the prices on there. And obviously, as you add these to your basket, it builds up your sort of basket and ready for delivery or collection, depends on what you select. Go on to that, and I'll just add that onto there. And there you go. Obviously, it's slightly different interface, but all in all, it's doing exactly the same thing. And the same for if I go for Deliveroo there, same sort of interface, but then like I said, you've got the Aldis, you've got the Costa Coffees, so they're moving into a slightly different realm because they obviously offer the delivery service, so it allows a lot more customers to use these sort of platforms. But again, like I said, this is stage 2 for us. However, it's good to get that understanding of their platforms so you can see how they work and then compare it to how we work. So same there again, I can order my bacon bap in there. So again, it's just a straightforward go through, build your basket, go to checkout, make your payment, and then finally we've got Leyland Eats, which I've just brought up here. Obviously, with the Eats group, you've got to be in the area, so I've just used a fake postcode there to be able to search for them. And again, you know, at the moment they've got a good, about 20-25 restaurants open at the moment taking orders from them. And like I said, they are brand new. And already you can see that they're already gaining a lot of new restaurants on there. Every day there's new restaurants joining up onto the Leyland Group websites. So again, you can see what's going on there. Obviously, Leyland Eats, they charge the service charge on there. So there's an extra bit of commission that people have to pay, is obviously the 50p service charge on there. So that's the platforms. Obviously, our platform runs very much the same. Postcode, see your list of your restaurants, slightly different presentation on it, order now, and again the same sort of interface. We can place your various different orders, and you've got your cart on the right hand side, same sort of thing. So you can see what we've got is pretty much the same as what's already out there, but however we don't charge the commission on there. We'll just go back to the presentation. Any questions on that? That's the demo of the different interfaces. They're pretty much straightforward sort of interfaces, very similar to ours. Just to remind you again, obviously using Takeaway Heroes is saving a lot of money. On the website, on the Takeaway Revolution website, if you go to savings calculator at the top, you'll see this very similar sort of bar chart here. And you can see, you know, obviously weekly revenue, normally it's around £2,000 to £4,000 a week that a restaurant will bring in. If they're at the lower end, this is the £2,000 a week, then obviously this is the potential saving. So on average, they're looking at £1,819 by moving to our platform, on average, that they'll save. But, you know, you can see with the more expensive ones, the Deliveroo and the Uber Eats, that there's £2,500 is a lot of money to suddenly pay, and to go down to ours, which is £50 a month, massive drop for them. So we're just going to go through. Obviously, that's the potential savings that we've gone through. If you need to do anything, that's fine. You can go to that savings website and just check it out. But obviously, I'm just going to talk to you how we're going to bring customers to the site now. So we're looking at the marketing strategy. So what do we do to bring customers to our website? Obviously, for us, it's a lot easier. It's just one website, same as it is for Just Eat. They just bring customers to the Just Eat website, and then customers then decide what they want to do. So our main aim is bring people to the website. On average, with Local Eats, they've been bringing 1,000 sales a day for each of their areas. So it's a massive amount of sales coming in. But then it's obviously down to them, direct them to which restaurants it goes to. Okay, so how do they do that? Obviously, we do post daily on Facebook and Instagram. We do new restaurant announcements. So if a new restaurant comes on board with them, our social media team will be all over them. They'll be asking them, "Can we have some pictures of your dishes? Can we have you got any offers that we can show and publicise?" And they will be doing their deal, pushing it out onto Facebook and Instagram, as well as Google, and pushing out that new restaurant and say, right, we've had this new restaurant, and we really hammer it home to bring customers over to our platform. Obviously, if they've got special deals, exclusive deals to us, again, that'd be great. That will help bring people in as well. So when we're speaking to restaurants, we say to them, you know, you're saving a lot of money by moving over to us. Offer the customers a discount, it doesn't have to be long term. It can be short term, just to help gain your customers over and your following over to this new platform. Obviously, weekly competitions that we'll be doing. So in each area, we'll be going, right, okay, we'll be offering different deals, and it'll be basically for everybody that's bought something during that week, they get one entry. So for one order, they get one entry into the weekly competition, and at the end of the week, they can win potentially, they can win a voucher, they can win, a free meal, and there'll be a set of, competitions that they could potentially gain access to by ordering through our platform. And obviously, this is very similar to what Local Eats do, and straight away they've been bringing over 1,000 sales a day. But obviously, we're looking to hammer it with with the exclusive deals and the daily posts. So we're doing a lot more on the social media, and we're looking to obviously double that. So we're looking to bring in more sales per day per area. And again, it depends how many restaurants come out onto that sort of platform. So obviously our marketing strategy is we're aiming to bring 1,000 orders per day per area. So obviously using the Google ads, the Instagram and the Facebook. Obviously, as we've seen, we looked on the website for pizza on Just Eat. We've done it on Uber Eats. There's a lot of competition there. Now, on average, most customers will click on the top 5. So what we do is we rotate the lists, because obviously nobody's going to want to look, for instance, on this one, 81 restaurants providing pizzas. Are you going to go through 81 menus? I can't see it. I know I don't. Most people will look at the top 5, or they'll try to drill it down in some way to better get the best deals. Maybe it'd be special offers, whatever it is, they'll use their different mythology to be able to drill down that list. Obviously, we rotate them so that everybody gets a fair share. So out of that 1,000, basically, we're looking to increase each restaurant by 30% increase in sales using this methodology. And this is the same as what Just Eat do, same as what Uber Eats, and the same as Local Eats do. They rotate it so that everybody gets a fair share, and they can, go through and get that fair share on there. So basically, going through on the sponsored listing, obviously we're looking at that fair share, and we get some restaurants, and you'll see it on Just Eat as well. They want to be at the top of the list. If there's 87 restaurants, they want to always be at the top of that list. So we've created something called sponsored listings. It's the same as what Just Eat do. A sponsored listing means that you're always on the top. You pay for it, but you're always on the top, and you're always one of the top 5 results. It's very well known in this industry. It's very well known in the internet industry. And if you speak to any restaurants, they'll be fully aware what a sponsored restaurant is. Some of them like to be a sponsored restaurant because they like that prominent position. They like the badge. It gives customers trust. Straight away they think, oh yeah, that restaurant has paid, and they want to be, they value their customers. So it gives a bit of, trust status to that restaurant. But basically, basically using this model, they can increase that 30% up to potentially 50% sale increase for that day, or for that week, or for that month, by using the sponsored listing. Okay, is there any questions on there? Okay. So on, obviously, based on the rotation model, if you're looking at 1,000 orders, each restaurant should be looking to gain an extra 5 to 12 orders per day. Obviously, it gives or take of what offers they've got on and what food they do, and what customers are wanting for that particular day. But again, there's a lot of influences there. But the sponsored listing gives them that extra prominence. They get the sponsorship. They get a little tag at the top to show that they're sponsored. And everybody's aware that they're being sponsored for that listing. So again, like I said, market research shows that most users will click on the top 5 results of any search. For the 81 people searching for pizzas, obviously nobody's going to want to go through. So it's the same thing that I've already mentioned. So, on average 5 to 12 a day on there. I think this is actually a duplicate slide by the look of it. Guaranteed CIO. Oh yeah, Just Eat themselves for this sponsored listing, they charge per click. So as well as charging the 14% plus 50p per order, they've also got this sponsored listing, and every time a customer clicks on it, they get charged an amount. So even if they don't place an order with them, and that's how they do their sponsored listing. So there's no guarantee with them. A lot of restaurants are paying. A lot of people will click on those purely because they know they're running up a bill for the restaurant. So you'll get a lot of competitors what will click on these purely to run up their bill, and then suddenly that restaurant then suddenly becomes non-sponsored anymore and goes down to the bottom of the list. So there's a lot of underhand techniques with this cost-to-click model. We don't do it. We just charge a weekly, a daily, a weekly, or a monthly charge. Doesn't matter how many people click on it. It doesn't cost them any more. It's a straightforward sort of earning on there. So again, just to go through, obviously the sponsored daily, it's £50 a day. If we're looking at this line here, £50 a day on. Whoop, go back. £50 a day. You get £20 on there. Obviously, it's a more expensive, but if they want to trial it out and see what the difference is, it's a great way of trialing it out. The weekly, it's £250 a week, and then obviously it's £100 commission for you there. So that's 40% commission. And again, the monthly, if they want to be there for the month, they want the prominence. You'll find that some restaurants like that and they prefer that, and they'll just go, right, can I have a sponsored listing? And straight away, you're going to bring £200 in. That's a £200 straight to you. For that, it's £500 for the restaurant to be a sponsored listing. And it's, like I said, it's only if somebody wants to have that sponsored membership. They want to be the top 5. They always want to be the top 5. That's when sponsored membership goes in there. Standardly, with a standard sell, it'll be just what plan do you want? You want a standard plan or do you want an advanced plan? Okay, I want to have a standard because I just want to be on the Takeaway Heroes website. That's £50 a month. That's it. That's a standard restaurant. But if a restaurant suddenly says to you, well, it's great, I want to be on your website. You've got a lot of people. We can get a lot of money from, a lot of sales from you, but we want to be prominent. We want to be in the top 5 position. And then you go, right, okay, well, if you want to be in the top 5, it's £50 for your standard membership, plus your £500 a month for your sponsored monthly. And that means you're guaranteed to be in the top 5 listing every day for the month.
Lee?
Yep.
Do we get paid that monthly as well? If they went onto the...
Absolutely. Absolutely. Every payment that a merchant pays, you get paid.
Okay.
You'll get a daily report of what each merchant's paid, and then you'll basically go at the end of the week. You go, right, okay, this is what I'm due, because all these reports, you just calculate it all, and this is what you're due. So every payment that customer makes, it's your customer.
Right.
So every time they make a payment, you're getting a payment for it. And if you think of it, you look at your area. Say you get a restaurant that joins up, but they haven't gone through you, but they've heard of you or they've been referred. That becomes your customer because it's in your area. So straight away, even though you haven't had you haven't referred them directly, it's gone through a friend of a friend or another restaurant's recommended it. It becomes your customer, and you'll start earning commission on there. And again, it's looking at your what is your area, and yours will be set by Stephen, who will set your area and go, right, you're managing this. That is completely your area. If somebody comes on, you haven't even had any interaction with them, you earn money from them because it's in your area. Okay, so obviously the customer costs and plans, obviously these are the standard costs for a new customer coming on board. There's a setup cost, 150 quid if they've got no hardware, got their own hardware. So if they got their own delivery machine, or they got their own iPhone or Android device, and they don't want the ours device, that's fine as £150. Obviously of that you get £50 straight out. If you take a cash payment, then obviously you can take that cash straight away and then transfer the 100 to our account. If it's through card, then obviously you get paid at the end of the week, which should be on a Friday, as I mentioned before. Setup cost for the hardware, if they're looking at the hardware, it's
So is
$299.
this, come on,
Go on.
for this job, this is just for commission, isn't it?
Pardon?
You're not paying us any money for this. This is just for your commission, isn't it?
This is all commission based. That's correct. Yeah. Yeah.
All commission.
So basically with the hardware again, you get your £50 on there. So basically for a new customer, every new customer you bring in, it's £50 you get in there. Okay, for the setup cost, and then you get the recurring monthly fee. So once you brought that restaurant on board in Liverpool or wherever or Real, that customer becomes yours for the lifetime of the account.
Yeah.
If they're paying £50, you get £20 a month on there. If they're paying £100, you get £40 a month, and that goes on for life. You know, so as long as they're a customer, you get that recurring income. So once you've established your area, it pays for itself. That's the idea. Is that in the end, it pays for itself.
Lee, you know this, like, so when, like, say we're going in, I've sold one, and he's not giving me cash payment, and he wants to pay. How is he going to pay?
It can pay through any card, or it can pay. There's a direct debit on the monthly fees. It's all direct debit, so that all gets paid on there. With the setup fee, if they want to pay that by card, we send an invoice. They pay the invoice through their card. It's a straightforward.
But there isn't a situation where I'm signing you up and taking the payment right there and then.
Only if it's cash. Only if it's cash. If it's cash, then it is. Again, if you want to do that, we can enable that for you. If you want to take the payment there and then, we can enable that. We can put an
I'd like to have as many tools in my belt as I could.
That's absolutely fine. We can add that. Yeah, yeah. And again, you know, basically it will all go off your badge. You know, I don't know if you scanned your badge yet, but it goes to your own sort of area. They click on the button and they can then process. Now we'll just change that so it enters your card details and does a direct payment there and then, and then you'll get an authorized or unauthorized at that point. So you'll know whether they paid or not straight away, and then it'll set the agreement up. So that's not a problem.
Okay.
Okay, so that's pretty much on the recurring front. Obviously, you get your recurring fee, you get your one-off fee as well. So it's a bit of an extra bonus. So in a month, basically, you get your £50 and you get a £20. So you get £70 in the first month from a customer signing up for a standard plan, and you'll get obviously £90 for somebody signing it up on the advanced plan.
Okay, can I just ask about the advanced plan, please,
Yep.
Lee?
Yep.
It says here you get the added custom-built mobile app for... oh, you've changed the screen.
Yeah, because I was just about to go. It's on the next screen.
Right. I just wanted to know, what is the benefit of them being on the advanced plan? What are they getting for the extra £50?
Yeah, and that's exactly what we're going to go through on here. So obviously you've got the standard plan here. Standard plan is you get the menu on Takeaway Heroes. They get unlimited orders, so there's no restriction on orders. They get an increase in sales by 30%. They get listing on all our mobile apps. Obviously, they get all the merchant features, so they can access and control their listing on the web and on the apps. So they can control live their own listing. And if they're sitting down and they're quiet, and they've got that quiet time, they can suddenly create an offer or a discount and bring customers into their store, and they can update obviously their listings live. Finally, with the standard plan.
Can I just a quick question? So if they did live, they did right. We've got all this chicken we've got to get rid of. Let's do a promotion tonight.
Yep.
Would the customer get an email or some sort of alert that that offer is now on?
Once they go to the website, they'll get the alert to say there's an offer on. But they can also do at the bottom here, send push message. So if it's a customer that's already used them, they can send send a push message for free. So basically, it will send out a message to all the mobile devices to say we've got an offer on today. They click on it, it goes straight to that offer. So it's a quick, easy way of bringing people in. So yes, if they got that tray of chicken they need to get rid of tonight, they can do. With Just Eat, you can't do that. Just Eat, you have to go through your sales guy. Your sales guy then has to go over to Just Eat. Just Eat then need to configure it, and then the next day they get it. So they're looking at a 24-hour delay on there. Ours is instant. So as soon as they put it on, it's there. Okay. So that's £50 a month for that. Obviously, the advanced plan gives them their own custom app. So they get, obviously, they still get everything on the standard plan. They still get on Takeaway Heroes, but they also get the addition of their own app. Now, this will be custom branded to their business. So if you've got Chunky Chicken as your brand, obviously you have a Chunky Chicken app uploaded to the App Store and the Google Play, and it will be just your store on that app. And what the reason why restaurants might want it is with the new COVID-19 rules. So they're doing sit-down restaurant, is a sit-down restaurant that do takeaways, and they want their sit-down customers to better order safe and securely. Obviously through there they get a QR code that they can put on their menu on their table. The customer scans the QR code, it downloads their mobile app, and they can place their order on the mobile app. So in theory, you got a COVID secure way of processing orders internally. So it's for restaurants that have both external, i.e. they're doing deliveries, plus they do sit down restaurant as well. So that's where your difference is. We've got a combined plan what deals with both of those sides, and that's £100 a month. Okay.
Got it.
Any questions on that? Or are you okay?
I'll be back in 2 minutes. Okay, carry on though, I'll be fine.
Okay.
All right.
So obviously we've got the customer app and website. Maybe we need to wait for her to come back a moment. The customer app and website, obviously, you've seen our website, takeawayheroes.co.uk. We do have a demo site, so demo.takeawayheroes.co.uk brings you to our demo site that allows you to test functionality, to try something out. So if somebody says, "Oh, can it do that?" Obviously, we're available 24/7. So if you want to ping us a message, you can ping us a message at any time. But if it's something that you want to just got that active interest in, you can go to our demo website and just have a play around and see how that works. Also on our demo website are the apps. So you'll notice here we've got apps in orange. That's live customer sites. So obviously for the customer app we've got Takeaway Heroes there, and on the App Store we've got Takeaway Heroes there. The grey ones are the demo site. So if you need to trial it out and you want to log on and try test functionality, then you can do so. So again, using Takeaway Revolution demo customer, you'll see that on the Google Play Store and the Android App Store. If you go to demo.takeawayheroes.co.uk, you can also download it from there as well. And I'm just going to show you that. So go on to there. Let me just go back.
I just pressed something, I don't know what happened.
What was that? Sorry.
I vanished for a minute, I don't know what happened. It just went.
Are you back now?
I'm back now.
Yeah, okay.
No, bye.
Don't panic me. Right, okay. So obviously we've got the demo Takeaway Heroes here. If I go on to here, you can see it's different. We've got a different logo up here, so you know it is a demo site. Down here you got the demo software. So if you click on that,
I can't see since when they rejoined. Your screen disappeared.
Oh,
Same
okay.
here.
Let me just
Same here, yeah.
go through, and I need to present now. Entire screen. Sorry, that doesn't
That
make.
whole screen.
Right, can you see now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep, it's working now.
Yep. Okay, so demo.takeawayheroes.co.uk. That's our demo site. These are set up so that anybody can view. They've got a 500-mile radius on these, so basically whatever your postcode is, it'll bring up our demo restaurants on there. So you can see there, whatever your postcode, it will then bring those, and you can play around. Obviously the website is pretty straightforward on there. You can place an order on there and see how that all works. So by all means, you've got the demo site. If I just see if I can add that in there. To bear in mind, when I share my screen, for some reason my internet goes really, really slow. Let's go into Doner Kebab. So again, you know, they can obviously select their different options on there. Add cheese on there. And then add to cart. And straight away you can order through on there, so it's pretty straightforward. And again, like I said, you got the Takeaway Heroes, which is our main website for the customer when it wants to load up. So you can see there's similarities. Obviously the logo changes so that you know you're actually on the live site. So we've done that so we can differentiate and we can just test things out to make sure things work. Okay. Let me just back over to that. With the demo, we'll go through obviously the ordering process shortly on there. Let me just go through to the next one. So the merchant app. Again, customers can go to takeawayheroes.co.uk/merchant. Ideally, we want them to download the app. The app is the easy interface, which will go through all the different functionalities in there in a moment. And again, there is a demo site. It's only on the Android device at the moment, but we are looking to get it onto the Apple device. So if you've got an Apple device, you can't download the merchant app yet. However, we will be adding that, and that will be within the next 48 hours. We'll have the demo site on the Apple Store as well. So we're just waiting for that to go through on there. So it's pretty much straightforward. Merchant demo, we'll go through that in a moment. And then we've got the driver app. Come on. So the driver app and website, and again, you know, if you go to takeawayheroes.co.uk/driver, again, we want people to use the app. So you know, ideally, you just go onto the Google Play or Apple App Store to go through that. And I'm just going to go through and demo those apps with you any moment. Right, okay. So let's go through this now. So the order process. Let's bring up the apps and just let me share my screen a moment, and you can see the apps in action. Screen mirror. Start. Right, can everybody see that screen?
Yep.
Right, so we've got the live apps here. I'm going to go work through on the live apps at the moment, and we've got some demo content on live apps as well. So customer site, straight away, this is the Takeaway Heroes website. They sign in. They can sign in if they've got a Facebook account or a Google account. So it's very straightforward if they want to go on to one of those sort of interfaces, quick and easy. So by clicking on that, it joins up onto the Facebook account and brings up a restaurant in their area. And what it does, in settings, edit profile, it brings up their Facebook profile. So it brings up their photo, brings up their name, and if they've got a telephone number in their Facebook, it will store their telephone number in there. So functionality straight away, you know, we've got the sponsored listings up here that we can add in there, as well as we've got a demo kebab house here. So from here we can go through, and again, these menus are built by us. Once they paid their £150 or they paid their £299, this is when we set up obviously the menus and build this up. So depends on what their requirements are and what options they want, we allow them to do that. So we go for that, go for a chicken burger, So you can see from the website to the app, it's pretty much the same sort of functionality. To the customer, they can order within a minute. They can place an order. It's a very quick sort of process. Sign up for an account in a second and process an order.
Who's doing the dishes? Can you put yourself on mute?
Yeah, I guess somebody's doing their dishes there.
Exactly.
Right, okay, and then obviously a delivery address, and we've just got a fake address on there, and a telephone number. Apply. Obviously, with COVID-19, you can opt for no contact delivery on there as well. Who's still on? Let me just see if I can see who's making all the noise. No, it's not going to show me.
I think it's gone now.
Yeah, it's gone. Yeah, and straight from there they can place their order. So it's cash on delivery. Pay 80.80. That goes straight to the merchant account. So you can see I've got a notification at the top of the screen there to say that I've received an order on there. For the customer, obviously, if the restaurant's got a text number, they can text them by clicking on there. If they've got a telephone number, they can click on there to make a call to that restaurant. But obviously they get a live update status of where their order is at any particular time. They can hide that. At the same time, obviously they can go back to their order history down here, and they can see it's a pending order, and they can track that order, which brings back to that screen. So it's a straightforward for that customer. They can also see obviously their past orders. They can reorder. So if they've got something that they use quite a lot, they can reorder the same order. They can add the review, they can track the orders and all the rest on there. So it's pretty much, for a customer sort of side, it's very straightforward. Obviously they can search for what's near them, any restaurants offering promotions, special offers, or if they want to go for a certain sort of cuisine type, they can search through there as well. So through the customer app, as well as manually search, they can do a manual search on there. So from a customer sort of side of things, it's pretty much straightforward on there. Lots of functionality, but the main thing is they can see at a click of a button where their order is, what's going on in their order, and track that order. Okay, and again, they need to speak to them, they can do. So that's pretty much the customer app, very straightforward. Obviously that's brought in this order to me. Going over to the merchant app, you can see straight away I've received an order. So when that customer's placed that order, they get a notification to say, right, you've received an order, and you need to process that order through. Okay, so that comes up into notifications, so they notify them there. Obviously they can clear any notifications because the actual order is over here. So from there they can accept, they can decline and print. They can auto print. So when that order comes in, what Just Eat does and what Deliveroo does is that it automatically sends the order to the printer. This does exactly the same thing. So rather than having a screen to deal with, they can get it to print straight to their printer. Straightforward, very easy. Any option that is select here, if I decline, we can put reasons here. So they do any common reasons for declining. We can set these, they're all custom to that merchant. And the same for accepting. We can set these ready for whatever time, depending on what the merchant requires. If it's standard 60 minutes, we can put a standard 60 minutes in there, or we can give them the option to choose what they want on there. Obviously notifies them straight away. The customer app again, we've got 60 minutes, it's already notified them. Almost there, your order's now being prepared. So it tells them that it's in the kitchen, it's being prepared at the time. To the merchant side, obviously it's gone from awaiting, it's gone over to the kitchen. So it's gone into outgoing, and straight away we've got the option there. We can assign it to a driver, and we can complete the order if we want to. Assign to a driver comes up with any drivers that we set up on there. Anything that's in grey basically means that driver's not online at the moment. So what we need to do, I'm going to just set my driver online. Just bear with me because I should have done that beforehand. And there we go. You can see it's now green. So we can see when a driver is available. And say, for instance, that Mark is suddenly doing a delivery for somebody already, it'll go amber. So that we know we can't assign it to this person because they're already busy at the moment. But all their drivers will come up listed in here. And if they got a new driver, they can add them manually here as well. So it's pretty straightforward. If they want to do, maybe they want to do the delivery themselves, they can just go and set themselves up an account on the driver app. So it's very straightforward on there. So we select Mark, assign it. So that order, we can see it's been assigned for delivery. Mark Pedley is going to be told about it. We've got the notification. You can hear the driver app already notifying me there's an order ready to be picked up. Food is done. Confirm. And that's gone over. So the driver gets notified when there's an order ready to go over, and they also get notified once the order is ready to go. So they get lots of notifications. So, you know, say that the food's being prepared, the driver's on his way back, the restaurant will assign it to that driver will suddenly go, oh, I get a notification to say, right, there's going to be food to pick up once you get back. And then they're fully aware that they need to rush back to get that food item, and straightforward on there. So obviously it's gone over to the driver. This is the driver app. We've accepted it. We can see where it is. If they click on this option here, they can actually get a Google Maps to where it is and how far it is. At that point, they can reject it. If they're not happy with it, it's too far away from me, not happy with that, or I'm busy, they can reject it, and it'll then go back into the queue for somebody else. If they get any problems, they can speak to the restaurant as well. It gives them the ability to do that and to update the restaurant.
Lee, what I was thinking about is for the drivers, like a route planning, because obviously sometimes they will have 2-3 orders to pick up and deliver, just to make it easier, just to put it in correct order. The most, optimize the route for the driver.
And that's exactly what the software does, but this is more stage 2 for us at the moment. Right. Stage 1 is getting it out and using their drivers. Stage 2, and I'll show you the driver app, but basically we can coordinate using the best route planning and all the rest. It does all that. All the software is already built ready to do that. However, that's more stage 2. At the moment, we want to get it out there. We want the restaurants to start using it and start saving money. That's the key aim for us at the moment. Restaurants, they're paying out a lot of money, so we're giving them we're giving them functionality of Just Eat for now. And then stage 2, which is a month later, so we're looking at next month, we'll be then looking to do a Deliveroo sort of service and an Uber Eats service. So basically drivers will be able to sign up. They won't be linked to that particular restaurant, but then they'll better pick up orders. So the same as what Uber Eats does and Deliveroo does. So we're adding that. And again, that's route planning and all the rest in there. So that's all to come. So basically the restaurant gets there, they picked up the food, they click on start. That starts the timer. The restaurant gets updated. That obviously they're now on their way. Also, the customer, if I go to the customer, they get updated. And again, this is where the timing works out. It's worked out. It's going to take me 6 minutes and 21 minutes for that driver to actually attend that premise and do that delivery. So it looks at where you are, the geographics, and works out how long is it going to take. If a restaurant wants, they can enable the customer to track that driver. Totally up to the restaurant. If they want them to see their driver on their way, driving down. Very much like an Uber Eats sort of experience, but that's totally up to them on there if they want to enable that. To get to the customer, they click on Arrived. At this point, you probably heard a lot of stories where you suddenly drivers haven't delivered the food, or there's problems with the drivers. A lot of restaurants now want it used to be signatures, but obviously with COVID they can't do signature. But it does give the ability for signature later on. But for now, obviously, add photo, take a picture, And a lot of restaurants say, right, take a picture of the doorstop and that's it, to prove that you've been there. That gets all logged and tracked on there, so they got their proof of what's going on, and then successful. So that's gone off the driver list. Driver's already done, and driver is pretty much finished his work. The customer got their order, and they can now rate it, and they can put whatever they need in there. We'll just close that one down as well. Submit, and that's it. So basically that's the whole order process. You can see that's successful now, and they can even add more reviews if they want to, or they can reorder on there. But from a restaurant side, obviously that's been dealt with. They've seen the communication. This screen shows me obviously the communication from the driver, and it's all been completed. But from a restaurant side, you can see that's completely gone. It's not in the kitchen. It's not in there with the driver anymore. It's gone from our system. Okay, but again, if the restaurant wants to check, if they go into all orders, this gives them the ability to see all their orders and the status. And if they want to print something out, they can print something out. Or if they want to search for a particular customer, they can search for that customer and then see what happened with that particular order. So it's a great way of them seeing what's going on and what's happening with that. Mentioned to you before, obviously offers. I got on here, and we can create an offer on the fly. So we're sitting quiet. We need some business in, and we can just put an offer on. We want 10% off for orders over £5. So it gives you the ability to set that offer. And as soon as I put that on there, it's live on the website. For instance, another case would be, say you got a customer, you delivered them, you forgot a can of Coke. The restaurants, the drivers come back, you didn't give the Coke. Okay, well, the restaurant can then say, right, I'm going to give a voucher to that customer. So we can add a voucher, and we can put in a code for that customer. And we can say, right, okay, it's a fixed amount. We're going to give them £10, and the customer's just got to quote a word, and that will then give them that discount on there. So it's a way that a restaurant can suddenly go, right, okay, we didn't deliver that Coke, but we can give you a voucher which gives you some money back off your next order with us. So it's a great way of keeping that communication. So if they do have a mixed order, the driver can communicate that back, and that restaurant can do an action. So it's a great way of bringing the customer element back on track. You can't do that with Just Eat. You can't do that with the other platforms. You end up going back to Just Eat. I've been on the phone to Just Eat before. Oh, there's a problem with the order. Oh, well, you need to speak to the restaurant, and you end up with this whole sort of disconnect. It's very dysfunctional. But with this sort of functionality of our apps, it allows them to communicate live what's going on. Is there a problem? If there is, the restaurant can, at a click of a button, resolve that issue. They don't have to call the customer. They don't have to speak to that customer. They can notify them through the app. The apps give them all that ability to do that. And again, like I said, the final one, what I want to show on there was the push. So if we've got an offer, we can say, right, okay, 20% off today. All food. Save. And basically what that will do is it go into a queue, and then it'll then push out to all the mobile apps, and it'll put that 20% off. That runs every hour. They'll get every 10 minutes. That script runs through, and it will just post out to all the apps. So again, it's a quick way that they can notify and use that marketing functionality. That's free. It's absolutely free for them. Obviously, the only criteria on this is that they've got to have ordered from them in the past, because again, it's not their customer unless they've ordered, and once they've ordered, it becomes their customer for life as well. So that's straightforward. Is there any questions on that?
No, that you answered it. I was going to ask, and it is just for the pre-existing customers. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's
yeah.
pretty much everything on there, and that's the, you can see the order process is very straightforward. The apps are very easy. They're not designed to phase anybody or to be complicated in any way. They're there to help the customer. And again, as I mentioned to you before, our app is one of the first ones that will actually receive an order in their language. So if it's a Chinese restaurant, and obviously they're only Chinese speaking, the app can be translated, so when you place your order in English, it can translate over to their desired language. So they don't need an interpreter or anybody to deal with that. It's straightforward. They will receive it in their chosen language. So there's a lot of functionality in our apps, and it's ones that you won't find in Just Eat.
That's amazing, actually. That's really huge.
It's groundbreaking. It's one thing that Stephen mentioned to me. What is it? When we first started talking to Stephen, and he said, "Does it do this?" And it didn't at that time. But then, we're a company that will listen to you, and if you suddenly think, "Oh, well, that will work better," we'll implement it. At the end of the day, we're all there about making it better for the customer, better for you, and we are now the only provider in the UK doing this. The ability to receive it in your own language. Great, absolutely key selling point for us, but it's all through feedback. And anytime you want to feed that back, just feed it back. Don't ever be scared. This is, your business as much as ours business. Your customers, they're your customers, but obviously they're function through us. But, if your customers aren't happy with something, communicate to us, tell us, you're speaking to them more than what we are. And, if you think something can be done, talk to us. And again, we'll look to actually improve that. And we're always looking to make things better on there.